Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, you're with me, Mike Spider Slayer. And guys, we're getting ready to do another comic book countdown. So, welcome everybody. Today's countdown might be a little bit quicker than usual. I got to get to my other job, and I stayed late at the original job. Just the fact being that it is a couple days before Thanksgiving, and it is crazy. So bear with me if this is a little shorter than usual or a little bit rushed. And but with that being said, let's get started. We have altogether, I think, 13 comics, 12 hard, and one digital. And this week's number 13 book is Eternity of Sin Pandora, issue number 5. Now, the path that this has gone for the Forever Evil tie-in, it's headed towards more of the new story, which is Blight, and it has to do with Phantom Stranger and Constantine and the Question. And I really didn't dig this particular issue. I thought it was weak. I didn't like it. Just didn't felt like it was my cup of tea. If you're a fan of these characters, you're probably gonna like this. But I just felt that it was dialogue heavy and it just didn't keep my interest. So I gave this one like a 2 out of 5. Number 12 is Daredevil, issue number 33. Again, this falls in the realm of same thing, not my taste. And you even get that in this particular book where you have Matt Murdock saying this is totally out of my element because he's dealing with monsters, he's dealing with the classic Halloween creatures, and you get to see the outcome of the actual issue once you read it, and it felt kind of rushed at the end. There just felt like there had to be this conclusion to it. But good news, Daredevil fans, this series is returning with the all new Marvel now in March. So this particular series will be ending in February, but the series will be continuing in March. So that it's great news, and it's going to be the same team. So you can't ask for anything more. Overall, this series is really solid. Just these past couple issues are just not in my area. So I'm giving this one probably about a 3 out of 5. Next, we have number 11, and that is Green Lantern and the New Guardians, issue number 25. In this particular issue, you got to see Guy go to this weird planet, and it's like this utopia where everything is perfect and everybody calls each other friend. And what you find out in the issue is that the reason why it's this utopia and everything's perfect is because they go to the other side and make their world the most imperfect place. So they change things about their timelines and events that's happened and things like that. And it was interesting, but just real, God, again, another real dialogue heavy book. It just felt like a drag to kind of read it. The only thing here that I got anything out of was Carol and Kyle and how they met with each other. But otherwise, besides that, I just didn't really dig it all that much. Give it a 3 out of 5. So, top 10, number 10. We have Rogue's Rebellion, issue number 2 of 6. The Forever Evil tie-ins now are starting to go into their own direction, and they tend to get less and less about what's going on with the crime syndicate and the heroes and things like that. And I felt that this one was just a battle between Parasite and the Rogues. That was cool. It was fun, but a lot of this issue like backtracked anything that happened from the Forever Evil issue itself. Like if you read the issue, you knew exactly what was going on, and they just kind of retold it a little bit. So I felt like I was reading almost the same comic over again. Again, the battle between Parasite and everything else was pretty cool, but again, it ends up at a cliffhanger where they're just in another part, and I think this time they ended up in Gotham. So yeah, but again, it was average issue, 3 out of 5 for me. So next we move on to number 9. Superior Spider-Man Annual Issue number 1. I thought it was a forgettable issue, just like most annuals are. But what you got out of this particular book was you get to see a supporting cast again. You get to see Aunt May, and you get to see Superior do battle against. Um, uh, I forgot the character's name. It just draws a blank in my head all of a sudden. Uh, but the thing of this issue was is that you get to see him torture the villain in the issue because he wants all people to stay away from Peter Parker and his family, and people are scared of Superior now. That's just what it's come out to, just plain out scared. And I thought it was a good issue where it had to do with the supporting cast. Christopher Gage is the one I think that writes this particular issue. He's also the co-writer of Superior Spider-Man on a regular basis, so it was cool to see him actually write this on his own, and I think he did a pretty good job with it. Not my favorite Superior Spider-Man titles I've ever read, but it was a good issue, and I'm going to give this one a 3.5, or 3 out of 5 as well. So next we have number 8. Number 8 is Cataclysm Ultimate Comics, The Ultimates. In this particular issue, you get to see MODOK, who's like this cult leader of the Galactus Storm or Swarm or whatnot. And there's this weird virus that's going around where you touch people, you kind of become this Galactus Swarm. They're like the new Swarm to the new Galactus. And you get to see that our Ultimates are, which is the shield agents, are very overwhelmed of the situation that's going on, and they release the secret weapon, which is the Hulk. But in the end of the issue, you get to see the Hulk being transformed into this Galactus virus as well. Interesting issue. Artwork was really odd, a little dark and heavy in the inks, but it was a fun read for me. I did like it. It was on the lower tier of the better books for me, but I give this one between a 3.5 out of 4 stars. Next is number 7. Animal Man, issue number 25. This is part 2 of this whole Brother Blood story of what was going on here. You get to see Animal Man, Buddy Baker. He goes to the theater where they're having their award ceremony, and he's trying to get Maxine back. And then you get to see him and his wife reunite and try to work with each other, which was really nice, a real family element to get Maxine back. But in the end of it all, we find that kind of Buddy loses his cool, and let's just say that uh, he doesn't kill the bad guy at the end, but a lot of them die, and then he winds up getting like transferred to space and whatnot, and it was pretty weird. But I think from what I'm gathering, the Swamp Thing and the Animal Man are crossing over again, and I think maybe where he went to has to do with the green. I think it kind of didn't say that at the end. It kind of said he was hoping that it might be the green, but it wasn't. So I don't know where this next story arc is going to go. This was pretty interesting. It was good to see the family reunite, except for Maxine, of course, but the husband and wife. And I give this one a 4 out of 5. It's a good read. Next, we are on to, let me just catch my bearings here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 6. Savage Dragon, issue number 192. I gave this book a 4 stars. Eric Larson's the creator of this character, the writer of this book, and the artist of the book. The guy's got double duty not every month, but he puts together a nice story here. And in this particular issue, you get to see the end of Savage Dragon's powers. Now, it's been hinted here and there that he's going to lose his powers or whatnot, but in the past we've seen him lose his brain. He's gotten killed. He's become an emperor, but he's come back. But now this time, he's got his powers taken away. He's become like a normal type of alien race that he is, and he's just powerless now. And he wants to procreate his, I guess his, what's the word I'm looking for? he doesn't want his species to be extinct, so he wants to mate with the other girl and create babies and repopulate, I guess his creatures, his species, whatever I'm trying to say. And that's what he's trying to do here, and he has to be powerless to do that. Otherwise, the babies will kill the mother. So, and they don't want that. Really interesting issue here. Malcolm is going to be taking over the role of this book. He's going to be the lead hero here, and great artwork by Eric Larson. And I'm giving this book a 4 out of 5. So next, top 5, number 5, and it is a digital book, and this one is, if I can get it to come up. And turn. There we go. Quest issue number 5. This is by Zenescope Entertainment, written by Patrick Shan. This book is really well done. It's about a different bunch of characters from the Grimm fairy tale universe that have been exiled or been banished, or something has happened to them, and they've come together to form this team, and they have to gather different pieces from the land of the Grimm fairy tale land to make these pieces a whole and defeating these dark shadows. It's definitely an interesting book. It may not be for everybody. Kind of reminds you of the Lord of the Rings type of style stuff here, but really interesting. I enjoyed it. It's part 1. I'm trying to remember how many parts there are. I think there's 5 parts, and this leads into future stories that has to do with Zenescope, where it's called Age of Darkness. So interesting book. I really enjoyed it. The artwork is nice. There's 3 different variants if you're looking for variant covers here, and I gave this one a 4 out of 5. So next we're moving on to number 4. And number 4 is Superior Spider-Man Team Up, issue number 6, written by Christopher Yost. This book does a really good job at bringing back some classic elements, and I thought that Christopher Yost here finds a way to bring back the Sinister Six to work with Otto Octavius in a weird way, because he's Spider-Man. He mind controls them. They're forced to do his bidding, and they all think he's Spider-Man, which is really awesome. And you get to see more of Sun Girl, and the purpose of Sun Girl is that she's going to be in the New Warriors. So Christopher Yost is trying to get you familiar with this character. Now Christopher Yost also is going to write the New Warriors, so I think it's a smart move on his part by putting the girl in this particular book. The issue has to do about them battling against the Wrecking Crew, trying to go after this particle beam, which was maybe not the best story in the world, but if you like classic Spider-Man, this has that classic feel to it, and I quite enjoyed it. So I give this one a 4 out of 5. So moving on to top 3, number 3, and that is Uncanny X-Men issue number 14. Now, Uncanny X-Men issue 14 was really cool because it has this really awesome character in here now that you know who he is. I'm trying to remember the kid's name. I think the kid's name is Benjamin Deeds. I think that's what it is. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go with that. But he's kind of like a morpher, but he doesn't morph until you really get close to the actual person. But he's got these pheromones that can be released, and he can kind of manipulate the person that he's close to liking them. And the artwork in this book was really good. Emma Frost was drawn really nice, and you got Magic in here that was drawn really, really good too. And so I thought for this type of book, here's Emma here, so really good. So I thought for this type of book, the artwork felt like it fit. And the issue itself was really neat because it's got great character development. Really, that's what makes a comic. And when you have these new characters that you don't know too much about, and they throw this character development in here, that's what made this particular issue, and that's why it got top 3 on my list this week. And this got a 4 out of 5 as well. Next, number 2 is The Wake, issue number 5. This is the conclusion to the first full part of this series. You got to see the whole thing that was going on with this merman creature chasing after Leeward, our scientist here, and her crew, just going after him. It's kind of like a horror movie. You know, you're trying to figure out who these creatures are and what they're going to do. And by the time you get to the end of this issue, you really find out what happens. You find out that they're going to take over the earth. They're going to create this big flood, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to rule the land. And by the time you get to the end of the issue, you get to see Leeward here. Now, I'm not sure if it's her in the future, if it's her daughter, if it's granddaughter, or how far this is in the future. But this reminded me of like a Batman or Spider-Man thing where you're getting geared up in your actual gear, and and you see her in the future, and you're like, dude, that's pretty awesome. Now, there was other elements in this book that made it real good. This was, Leeward when she was really young and she having a moment with her father. And there was another moment here when she had her son and she was saying goodbye to her son when the earth was just about to, get taken over by these merman creatures. But really awesome book. Unfortunately, we have to wait till February for the next issue to come out, and that makes it a little bit of a downfall as well. But however, I give that one a 4.5 out of 5. Now, for the #1 book of the week is Harley Quinn, issue number 0. You know, written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor here. Artwork done by various different artists, including Charlie Adlard, who is the Walking Dead artist, who has a page in here as well, which I thought was really cool. If there was a book that you can do that has all these different artists and they all got to take a turn in drawing in it, this was the way to write this book. Just having the different people in here, different artists, her making the decision of who she wants her artist to be. It was really phenomenal and really well done. I did an in-depth review on this particular issue if you want to see that, but I pointed out where we had that Villains Month Dial E or Dial H, whatever it is, issue, where they had all the artists do a single page, same thing, but the story just didn't make sense. And here, DC this time did it right. And I felt like all these artists really had to communicate to come together to make this book make sense. And it did. It made sense. Harley Quinn was in her element here. This was her character. And I do love the people who are going to be writing this book. I do love the person who's going to be drawing this book. And I cannot wait for issue #1. It's going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to be one of the most anticipated series coming this year, or this new year. So there you have it, guys. 5 stars from me. Again, this one was a little bit rushed, so sorry I didn't get to show you some of the artwork and things like that, but I'm on a tight schedule. But there you have it. You saw the worst. You saw the best. And guys, until the next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. And guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you don't see another video from me this week, or you don't watch a video from me this week, happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And as always, again, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And I'll see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.